you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Solsbury Hill by Peter Gabriel, featuring of course some incredible guitar work by Steve Hunter. This is definitely not an easy tune, but it's not quite as difficult as you might think. It's in 7/4 time, so an odd time. It's got a super consistent thumb pattern in it. So it's like Travis picking in an odd time, which sounds really complicated, but the good news is that there are only really 6 sequences that you need to practice. So what I propose I'm going to do is to teach you each one individually. We'll focus first of all on the left hand, make sure you got the chords right and you know what fingers to use where, but most of the time, most of the effort is going to be working on the finger style. It's really important that you practice this stuff slowly. When I transcribed the tune, had to work it all out, write it all down, and then I just sat and practiced the stuff over and over again, really slowly, making sure I got it right, because you need to automate that stuff. You can't be thinking about the fingerstyle patterns as it's going along. You have to practice it slowly enough that it just kind of happens on its own. You probably find it a lot easier to have the tab out in front of you. If you're not a member of JustinGuitar tabs yet, head on over to the website and you can get it there up on the screen. Look at it while you're practicing along. It'd be really, really super helpful. Before you actually embark on playing the tune, I would recommend that you get used to the feel of it, because while I'm going to teach you how to count it, it's going to be a lot easier if you can kind of feel the rhythm a little bit. Now, it's in 7/4. I'm going to be counting it slightly differently. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into the actual playing part. But just to get familiar with the time changes, I'd recommend that you practice counting along. Not in 7. I'd recommend that you count 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 for the intro. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the intro. For the verses, it's more of a kind of a 4 and a 3. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So get used to that count. It'll help you feel the pulse correctly when you're doing the fingerstyle. If you've never done any odd time playing before, it's learning to feel where the pulses are, because it doesn't feel jerky like some sort of fusion tunes where it's really angular. It feels very natural. The fact that the beat is so strong all of the way through really feels nice to play it. It doesn't feel awkward and odd-timey, okay, which is a sign of actually a really beautifully crafted odd time song, is that you don't even really notice that it's in an odd time. So it's kind of interesting the way that the intro is a 3 and the 4 and the verses are a 4 and a 3. Swapping between them doesn't feel particularly difficult, at least not for me, if you get the patterns right and you practice them the correct way. So like I said, what I propose to do is to break each one of these kind of 6 2-bar phrases to break it down. I'll show you this hand first of all, and then most of the detail will be about the finger picking, like exactly what fingers are picking what strings, how to do it. We'll do it together really slowly a bunch of times. I think that's the best way to crack on with this tune. Again, practicing along with the original recording at less than 100% speed is going to be really valuable. So do check out the software I use is called Transcribe. It might be worth a bit of a look at that as well. You'll probably find it quite helpful to explore. Practicing it like 50% or 60% or 70% depending on where you get to. Just playing it in time really slowly, making sure you get it right. Really important. Every time you practice it at full speed and you get it wrong, you're putting the programming in wrong, and it makes it even harder to learn it. So slow, careful practice is definitely the way forward. I think that's enough talking. Let's get in and do some playing. Okay, this is this first phrase. I'll just do it nice and slow now. So we start off with first finger doing a mini bar. We've got capo obviously at the 2nd fret, in case you didn't notice that. First finger is going down, pressing the 2nd fret on strings 2, 3, and 4 only. And you need to be able to get that thinner string. So you've got to find that way of putting your first finger down and lifting that knuckle forward enough to be able to get the thinner string. Okay, many times when I'm teaching A chord it's like this, with the thinner string muted, but for this particular riff, you're going to have to find that place of bringing your knuckle forward enough to be able to get that note. However, we actually start with this, I guess it's kind of a D over A shape. I mean, the capo's on, so it's a tone higher technically, but I'm always going to be talking relative to the capo here. So this is kind of like a C-shaped D chord. You could think of it as an A6 sus4. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, second finger is going down 3 frets above the capo on the second string, and the third finger is going down 4 frets above the capo on the fourth string. So it's starting on, off, on, off. Now this is an E over an A. Okay, so second finger, second fret on the fourth string, first finger, first fret on the third string. Okay, and then we've got this little melody part where the third finger is going to go down on the second fret of the third string to get that little climb up. Second and third fingers down to start. Off, on, off to the E. You got that little climb up, and then it's going to leap back to having the bar and those fingers out. It's not super easy. Okay, let's get into that pick in hand. As I mentioned earlier, I feel like the intro is a group of 3 and a group of 4, but rather than trying to count in 16th notes, I'm going to count it as 8th notes. So we're going to be counting to 6 and then 8. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and. We don't always need the ands, but at least you know they're there, and that's how I'm going to count it. It's a lot easier than me trying to count 16th notes. So it also means that the thumb will always be on a number, and if there's a note on an and, it's definitely going to be played with a finger, although sometimes the fingers fall on the beat as well. The best way to deal with this is nice and slowly, one little chunk at a time. For pretty much this whole song, the thumb is going to be taking care of strings 4, 5 and 6. First finger is going to play any notes that appear on the third string. Second finger will play any notes on the second string. And third finger will play any notes on the thinner strings. There are exceptions to this, and it changes a little bit when we go up to the D major 7th. But as a general rule, that's a good starting point. At least it'll help you get your head around it in the beginning, I hope. So let's start off with the very first thing. Would be that, just to get used to this idea of the thumb moving between the 5th string and the 4th string. So you're going to play the 5th string and the 2nd string together, so thumb and second finger. Ziggy, I'm right in the middle of doing a really difficult finger picking lesson. Now's not really the time. Really, it's not. I know you love this song too, but no, you don't want to go to bed now. Okay, you want to say hello to people. Okay, hop up, hop, hop. Come on, there you go. Come on, here. Hop. Come on, right up. There you go. Okay. This is Ziggy, everybody. Down here. There you go. Say hello to the good people of YouTube that are trying to learn Solsbury Hill, and you're very rudely interrupting their lesson just as I'm getting into the nitty-gritty of the fingerstyle part. Yeah, I know. She's a bit grumpy because it's really, really windy outside today. There's some sort of storm in, so she's only had a little bit of a walk today. So she's probably a bit grumpy about that. Okay. You had your minute in the spotlight, your 15 seconds of fame. Now it's back to bed. Go on. Off you go. So to get you going here, what I'd recommend that you do is you start with the thumb playing the 5th string, second finger playing the 2nd string together. Then first finger will play the 3rd string, thumb will play the 4th string. Then third finger will play the thinnest string. If you just have a little go at that first of all. Together with the 2nd finger, 3rd string, 4th string with the thumb, thinner string, back to the 5th string. Then maybe thumb and 2nd finger are going to play it together. Thumb playing the 4th string and 2nd finger. And then maybe just get the thumb going like that, just to keep it. Yeah, this kind of exercise really good. 1 and 2 and Next thing to add in is first finger playing the third string again on beat 6 of that first section. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you're just playing the middle 2 strings there on beat 6. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Hey, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. Just start off with just that first section. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 4. Oh, that's hard to count at the same time. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1. This is the second part of that now. So first and second together, you're doing that little movement. And then lifting off the hand. And now you're playing thumb and first and second fingers. Thumb. Now we've got this little playing thumb and first finger together, middle 2 strings. Then we're putting that third finger down to get the E sus4, while thumb plays the 5th string. Then thumb goes back to the 4th string and plays the open 2nd string. It's a little bit tricky, but again, really slow, careful practice is what's required here. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the second phrase we're looking at is this. Okay, it's just the A that we already looked at before. The E over A and back to the A. As usual, the fun is mostly in the picking hand, so let's get to that. Yeah, if you've learned the intro properly, this one's probably not going to feel particularly difficult. We start with the thumb and fingers 1 and 2 playing together. Then thumb, first finger, thumb together. But now we're on the E with an A bass. And back. So we've just got that one chord there with the E with the A bass. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the first little, like I said, the verse now we're thinking in terms of 8 and then 6. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Together, thumb, 1, thumb. Together, thumb. Together, together, thumb. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we got this nice little pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. very common kind of fingerstyle pattern, except it's in 6 instead of the usual 4. Thumb and second finger together. First finger, thumb, second finger, thumb, first finger, thumb, second finger, thumb, first finger, thumb. But obviously thumb is alternating. Together, first thumb, second thumb, first thumb, second thumb, first thumb. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Put that together. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. The hardest phrase in the song, I think. It's an F sharp minor, but we're not playing the thickest root notes, so just third and fourth fingers, 4 frets above the capo on strings 4 and 5, and then first finger playing the thinnest 3 strings. Then we're going to our little E chord, making sure the tip of that second finger mutes the 5th string in case you accidentally play that, but otherwise it's just an E, and then it's going back to the F sharp minor again with an interesting picking pattern. So of course we're going to go into the picking in a second, but just see the way the chords are changing. It's relatively simple really. F sharp minor over C sharp, I guess, to an E and back to the F sharp. Oh, this third section is probably the hardest on the fingerstyle, you'll be pleased to hear. It's this. It's just a whole lot going on. This one's just, yeah, it's just a bit awkward. So starting with all 3 fingers playing together with the bass note on the 5th string, then 4th string, 3rd string, 5th string again, E. Now the thumb is dropping down to play the thicker string, E, back to the F sharp with 2 chords, there, so 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so it's on 6, 7, we've got the block chord and the bass as well as 1. So 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the pattern again, very similar to the thing that we've had before. Okay, so again the thumb is just moving here nice and consistent. And almost the same, like a very similar feeling pattern because we play together, then it's separate. Except we're playing with the 3rd finger, 2nd finger bass, 3rd finger bass, 2nd finger bass, 1st finger bass, 2nd finger. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and bit tricky, this. Again, slow, careful practice like this is the way to go. I'm not kidding, I spent ages and ages doing this. Like, this is a tricky tune even for me to automate all those parts enough, especially to be able to teach it and hopefully do a reasonable job of playing it as well. It takes practice. I just had to sit there doing exactly that. This is one I found funny under my fingers. And then if something's going to go wrong, it's still that little bar there, the second part of that rhythm. I don't know why my fingers I get maybe not a pattern that I've practiced a whole lot before, but it feels a little bit awkward. It might for you too. It's just going to take practice, the same as it's going to take a bit more practice for me on this tune to be able to like never make a mistake. Again, you're trying to kind of practice. You don't practice until you can get it right. You practice until you can't get it wrong. Nice little expression there, but a little buzzy kind of saying, but it's really true with this kind of fingerstyle pattern. You want to practice it till you can't muck it up. Obviously, I'm still occasionally mucking it up, but you know, needs just a little bit more work. Okay, this one, very simple. D major 7, first finger covering the thinnest 3 strings at the 2nd fret. Okay, and it's just going to an E over D again, so first finger's moving back to the 1st fret on the 3rd string, nothing else required, still with the open D string. As usual, the fun's all in the picking hand. So now we're on to the D. Actually, our hand position moves down 1 string. So thumb is going to be taking care of strings 4 and 3. First and second fingers are going to be playing the thinnest 2 strings. Third finger's not going to get used. Pattern's essentially the same though. Together, thumb, 1, thumb, together, thumb, together, together, thumb. 1, 2, and 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so exactly the same as we had for the C sharp, the F sharp minor over C sharp, but now we're on the D. This is one of those things where I said about how much easier it is if you've learned the pattern sequentially. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the pattern's a little simpler there because we don't have the 3 fingers there, so it's just pattern rhythmically is the same. Together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Together, those 2 patterns. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. The 5th sequence, also a little tricky, is this. It's an F sharp, E, the D. So it's kind of blending a couple of things we've had already. But again, the fun with that pattern is mostly going to be in the picking. So we've got a kind of a hybrid thing now. We start with the F sharp minor over C sharp, same as we had in the 3rd sequence that I showed you, to the E. But now we're going to the D major 7. And we're going to start, the thumb's going to jump right over to play the 3rd string, and then the 4th string, and then the little same pattern that we had with the D major 7. So C sharp minor, sorry, F sharp minor over C sharp. E, D. It's very unusual pattern, that. only does that once, so I just did the wrong bass note. The last sequence is this. We actually moved to 2 bars of 4/4, which is a nice change, a little bit of the song there. So starting with that F sharp minor over C sharp again, E, but this time F sharp minor, we want that F sharp bass note down, and we just play it on the beat. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, then B minor 11, which is, and these chords are just played as little blocks, so it's a 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret on the middle strings, then A with a C sharp bass, 4th fret, 2nd, 2nd, 2nd middle strings again, then E sus4, so that's 2nd and 3rd fingers, 2nd fret, middle 2 strings, dropping back to 1st finger, 1st fret on the 3rd string, E sus to E. So into intro. But as usual, let's check out now the pick in hand. The very last pattern is this. Relatively simple compared to other things that we've done. Starting with the F sharp minor over C sharp. Same as we've had lots of times, to the E, to the F sharp minor, but making sure we now play the thicker string. Don't need to put fingers 2 and 3, by the way, you just need the bar down really for that. And then block chords, so middle 4 strings for the B minor 11, A with the C sharp bass, E sus to E, you're just plucking strings 4, 3 and 2 there. The fun part of that is it normally joins on pretty quick with the previous pattern, so you end up with the F sharp minor, E, D, now this new one, B, F sharp minor, B minor 11, A with C sharp bass, E sus to E, and then you'd be back into that intro sequence usually. Well, I really hope you enjoy learning this tune. It's probably going to take a little bit of work, but work is good. It's rewarding. You put the effort in, you get to be able to play this thing that lots of people won't be able to play because they don't have the grit to be able to actually sit down and practice this thing. Do remember that practice makes permanent, not perfect. So practice perfectly. If you practice doing the wrong thing and you get muddled up and you get the order wrong, it takes a lot more work to undo it and then be able to get it right. So really, please heed my advice. Take it really slowly. Practice it just one section at a time. Get that right before you learn the next section. Come back and just keep building up the tune gradually until you can play the whole thing. It's definitely a rewarding one. Really nice feeling to be able to play along with the original recording. Yeah, I'm nowhere close to being able to sing and play this one at the same time. If maybe you are, that would be a fantastic achievement to be able to do that, because I find that this tune is a really, really awkward one to be able to get that together on. But it's rewarding enough for me just to be able to play it along with the original recording, to be honest. This is, yeah, challenging, rewarding. It's fun when you work at stuff and you get it right. At least I hope you have that satisfaction too. Do remember, loads of notes and extra advice over on the website. If you're stuck with any of the skill sets like the fingerstyle, there's courses for all of those kind of things over there as well. Of course, I'm on YouTube. If you happen to be on YouTube, really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button, hit a like. Let me know in the comments what other Peter Gabriel songs I'm missing. Incredible artist, actually, and this is the first of his songs that I've done on the website, which is crazy. I've played loads of his songs in the past in cover bands and stuff over the years. So which ones would you like me to see? Let me know in the comments below. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and I'll see you for plenty more very soon. You'll take care out there. Bye-bye.